Okay, seniors, we're going to finish off our executive branch today by talking about the cabinet departments, also known as the executive departments. So we have 15 of these. Each department has a very specific area of responsibility. Those who head the executive departments oftentimes are viewed as being a part of the president's cabinet, the closest advisors. Again, those cabinet members are appointed by the president. They must be approved by the Senate. Our three original executive departments that were established by George Washington way back in the late 1700s were the State Department, the Treasury Department, and now what we know as the Defense Department or the Department of Defense. So our first executive department is the State Department. Again, they have a lot of responsibilities as it refers to or with foreign nations. Okay, and this is where our ambassadors report. Also, if you have a passport, the State Department issues that. So it has all to do with foreign affairs. The Department of the Treasury, they are going to be our, they manage our money. Okay, they manage our nation's money. They can print more money, things like that. They are not the same thing as the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank stores funds. The Treasury Department determines monetary policy. So they're a little bit different again, but the Federal Reserve Bank is something entirely different that is not directly controlled by the government, but to a degree it kind of is. It's kind of complicated. But understanding that, our Department of Defense, okay, Department of Defense, and again, that is our military. So they overlook our Army or Navy or Air Force, and then the Joint Chiefs of Staff, big part of the Department of Defense. They are some of our highest ranking military advisors for the president. Again, they are a part of the Department of Defense. Department of Justice, again, they are the person who heads this is known as the Attorney General. So instead of being called a secretary like the other heads of the other departments, instead of being called Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, however, the person who heads the Justice Department or Department of Justice is known as the Attorney General, and essentially they are the lawyer for the United States. We have the Department of the Interior. They're going to manage our natural resources. They're going to manage our national parks, minerals, land, so on. We have our Department of Agriculture. They do a variety of things, but again, mostly pertaining to assisting farmers. We have our Department of Commerce. They have a lot to do with trade and business and kind of managing some of those trade laws. Department of Labor, and then the Department of Health and Human Services. Again, kind of just paging through these. Department of Housing and Urban Development. They have a lot to do with public housing and different things like that. Department of Transportation, Department of Energy, and then our final few here. Okay, Department of Education, Veterans Affairs, and Department of Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security being the most recent executive department created in 2003 as a result of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. As a part of the Department of Homeland Security, they also created the Transportation Security Administration, the TSA. So if you have flown on an airplane since 2001, the TSA folks are the ones that check your luggage, scan your IDs, maybe ask you some questions, etc. As far as our independent agencies and regulatory commissions, so our independent agencies are also part of the executive branch. They help enforce laws and regulations not covered by other executive departments. So just a few of these are NASA, that is our space program, the CIA, which does some, I guess, spying for us on other nations. And then we have our United States Postal Service, the agency that is responsible for delivering our mail. We'll be talking more about them tomorrow in our Zoom meeting. As far as regulatory commissions, we also have these few that are just, that I thought were important, so I included them in there. Again, they also have powers to enforce laws. So our SEC, our Securities and Exchange Commission, they help enforce laws pertaining to our financial markets, our stock market. Our National Labor Relations Board, again, helping enforce labor laws. And then our FCC, and again, we talked a little about the FCC previously. They won't let me be me. Try to shut me down on MTV, but they feel so empty without me, right? They manage and regulate what is broadcasted on our TV and radio waves, okay? So just some things here to keep in mind. Wrapping up our chapter, again, please let me know if you have